want you to stop and remember the last time that you were super pissed off at a company for bad customer service, for bad products that break much too easily, for delivery delays or ticket delays, for products that don't work as advertised, for really bad service. How exactly did you deal with that situation? Recently, I've been having some problems with New Zealand's postal service. They seem to have real difficulties delivering to my building, which is kind of ridiculous because I've got businesses right next door to me that are always open. For some reason, they get all of their packages and I get about half of mine. Sometimes it takes weeks to sort out a delivery issue. And as far as I can tell, the drivers are just lazy and don't even come in and come up the lift to see if I'm here. For me, this is incredibly frustrating. My business depends on these packages, and I have a lot of personal things coming as well. I've even have packages returned to China because New Zealand Post couldn't do its duty. So here I am with all this frustration and all this anxiety. And what I tend to do is go to New Zealand Post's Facebook page or to their email address or call them up on the phone and really berate them for the low quality of service that I'm getting. I caught myself doing this just last week, and then I remembered something that I have long since forgotten, which is very simply that I've lost all perspective on this situation and that I'm making it very difficult for them to solve the problem for me. What I lost sight of is that most people in a customer service situation had absolutely nothing to do with creating the problem that I'm facing. And if they possibly can, they're going to help me sort it out, whether that means a replacement product, a refund, redelivery, anything that they can do to make my life better and keep me as a happy customer. But here I am, full of frustration, full of vigor, ready to just give them hell, as though this customer service agent had personally wronged me. Now, I've never worked in customer service, so it's easy for me to lose sight of what's going on. But what I can see happening is my reptile brain is just full of fury. I feel wronged. I feel cheated. I just want to know where my package is. And some part of me feels that in order for me to solve this problem, I need to raise hell. I need to create as much pressure as possible in order for them to make my situation a priority. But I've forgotten something very important, which is that I am just making their job so much harder. I'm making it nearly impossible for them to help me. And instead of spending their attention and energy on trying to fix the problem, I'm actually becoming the problem for them. They have to spend that energy now on trying to pacify me, which, let's be honest, doesn't really make my life better. When I step back and look at this, I can see very clearly what I need to do. I need to subtract all the frustration and the anger from the situation. The customer service person that's trying to help me really doesn't need my crap, and it doesn't help them do their job any faster. What I can do to help is clearly state my problem, clearly state my expectations, and give them as much information as they need to sort out the problem for me. The key thing to remember here is that you are dealing with a person. The product or service problem that you're having is with the company, but it's not the fault of this customer service representative. When you think of this person as representing the company that you're angry with, it's very easy to unleash your anger on them. But when you remember that they're a person whose job is to help you and make your life better, let that perspective serve you well. Some years ago, I had an experience which illustrated this to me very, very clearly. I was in the US on a flight that was canceled due to some kind of mechanical failure. About 150 very angry people were giving hell to the poor gate attendant who was trying to sort out their problems. I was sitting back and watching this, nowhere to go. I just had to wait, and I could see this incredible rain of abuse and fury targeted at this poor woman who had absolutely nothing to do with the airplane at all. So while she could have pretty efficiently rebooked these 150 people onto new flights as quickly as she could, at least 80% of her energy was just trying to calm people down. So I sat back and watched this. Man, I could see that this was a completely unfair situation. As luck would have it, I was the very last person in line, and as I walked up, I could see her just about ready to break down in tears. So I decided I was going to be exceptionally nice to this woman. I simply said, "Hey, looks like you've had a rough day. I know this problem had absolutely nothing to do with you. What are my options here in terms of rebooking?" She gave me a smile of gratitude between the wet tears, but sadly she had to inform me that there were just no seats available on my ticket class for the next day. I would have to stay somewhere overnight, come back tomorrow, and get on a new flight. And then she paused for a moment thoughtfully, asked me to wait a moment, and she walked away to talk to a supervisor. When she came back, she did something pretty magical. She punched some things into the computer, and next thing I know, she hands me a new ticket for the next flight. But in order to get me on the flight, she had to upgrade me to a first class seat, free of charge. Not only did I get to my business meeting on time, I got there in luxury and style, more refreshed than I've been in a long time. Now, that was a very lucky experience for me, and I'm not suggesting that you be nice to customer service agents just so that you can get great stuff. But it did make it very clear to me how much she appreciated being treated like a human and respected for her efforts trying to help me. I've never forgotten this experience, but I did forget the critical lesson that came with it. And it made me re-resolve that when I'm angry at a company, to always remember that the person trying to fix my problem is not the person that created the problem. And even if they had some part in it, me unleashing hellfire and fury at them is only going to slow down and impede their ability to help me. If you find yourself doing this, try to get out of your own way and let them do their job. Chances are you'll get a much better result and you'll be much happier in the process. Mike out.